We are live outside the Montreal courthouse where the hearings into the fight against Bill 21 just wrapped up. Now, civil rights groups argue that this bill is causing so much harm that it needs to be suspended while the courts take a deeper look at it.
We're here challenging this piece of legislation because it is fundamentally, we argue, and we're making a spirited argument about it, unconstitutional. It creates second-class citizenship. It divides us, and frankly, it has no place in Quebec or in any part of Canada.
Almost as soon as Bill 21 was passed, the law banning public sector employees in position of power from wearing religious symbols was challenged in court. The National Council of Canadian Muslims, the Canadian Civil Liberties Association, and a student teacher who wears a hijab filed the motion and had their first hearing in a packed courtroom Tuesday.
The courtroom is packed, and it's packed with people who are standing together to say that they are not happy with this bill, and that's what we're here to fight for.
But they had a big challenge, the notwithstanding clause invoked by the CAQ government. Their lawyers argue they had no merit to use it, but they presented 3 arguments to work around it. Number 1, that Bill 21 regulates religion for moral purpose and therefore falls under federal jurisdiction, not Quebec law. 2, that Bill 21 is too vague about what a religious symbol actually is. How can you tell if a scarf is religious or not? They also have issue with how the grandfather clause would be used, which allows people hired before Bill 21 was passed to wear religious symbols if they keep the same job. They argue the law can't be applied fairly. And lastly, that Bill 21 violates the structure of our Constitution, saying if it targeted women instead of a religious group, it wouldn't stand. Teachers present for the hearing urged the judge to make a decision to suspend the bill.
There's so much harm. It's not just me, but it's future generations. How can you tell high school students that you can't be a teacher, you can't be a Crown prosecutor? You can't do that. It just makes no sense. It just tells me that I don't belong here, that there is no place for me here, even though I pay my taxes, I give back to society. I've lived here my whole life. My friends are from Quebec. I mean, my house is here, but I still have no place.
Now, lawyers for the Quebec government presented their arguments. Among them, they said if every law that had an impact on someone were suspended, then we would be suspending all of our laws. They also said that a secular state is in the public's best interest, and that in this case, the public's best interest would be more important than the interest of individuals. The judge says he will try to have a verdict in 10 days, but he didn't promise anything. Outside the Montreal courthouse, Tenneriello, City News.